You've seen homeless street encampments. What about homeless underground caves? Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about underground caves with homeless people living there discovered in California. Now, these aren't just natural caves, I don't think. I think what happened is people were able to find a particular place near some water that was a little bit hollow, perhaps, and they dug in a little bit more and created a space just for themselves. Now, some may say, well, look, ABL, they ain't hurting nobody. Why even be worried about this? Why is it even the story? Well, when you're talking about homeless people, you got different types. You have those that are legitimately down on their luck, just trying to live somewhere temporarily and get back into a home. Maybe they might be in their car. Maybe they might be somewhere, a shelter. That's one thing. Then you have the dope fiends, the crackheads, those that are going to be outside. These are going to be the ones you see acting a plum fool right in the center of downtown Los Angeles, okay? Walking an imaginary dog or a pet rat or a cat or something like that. That's that. Now, I think the cave dwellers might be a combination of both or more toward the latter rather than the former. Now, before I go any further, let's get into the news clip where they show the caves and what was inside the caves. And if you want to see this video in full without my commentary, link as always will be in the description. If you're on IG, visit a link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Volunteers in Modesto stumbled upon these underground structures while doing a cleanup this weekend.
Yeah, check them out. So CBS 13's Toria Badaka is in Modesto with a closer look inside the caves that are causing some big-time concerns.
I've covered a lot of homeless stories in the past, but I've never seen such elaborate infrastructure for encampments. It starts with these makeshift steps that lead about 20 feet down below to where these caves are hidden. You can't even see them from up above, and that's likely why they went undetected for so long.
Let's pause for a minute. Okay, like what are we doing right now in America? Are we regressing or are we progressing? You got regular suburban looking houses over here on the left, and then right here by the water, right by the banks, you have people that have been able to dig inside a crevice and create a home for themselves. And it's a big contrast from what you see right here. And at a certain point in the future, if we keep going down this path, are we going to have full-on slums along these kind of areas? I can't really call it, but let's keep on rocking.
Hidden homeless caves tucked along the Tuolumne River in Modesto.
These are basically stairs that they made to get down to the dwelling.
Tracy Rojas took us on the treacherous walk to see the craters created near Crater Avenue.
And if one of these were to collapse, it would be devastating. This whole side would come down and into the water.
7,600 pounds.
Now, I want to ask a question. Okay, let's go back a little bit. Is that a beam? Did they actually chisel that? Was that already there? Was that existing infrastructure? What is that right there? Is that like a beam to a building that's above it? I have so many questions.
7,600 pounds of trash. That's how much was cleared out by volunteer groups and police over the weekend.
If you got that much trash in there, I'm almost, I say about 85% certain that someone, at least one person in that cave probably smoked crack for a living, because that's a telltale sign. But maybe I'm wrong.
So this was fully furnished?
Yes. There was bedding, there was little things up on the mantle, lack of a better word, mantle, food items, drugs, guns.
What I say, drugs, of course. Now, what kind of drugs are we talking about? Are we talking about weed? Are we talking about crack? Are we talking about whatever? I see a can of Raid. Maybe there were roaches in there. I mean, I can imagine you right there by the water. You're probably getting them big water bugs if they got those in California. Okay, them things are humongous, might be in there flying. So, yeah, I'm sure you got some Texas Pete hot sauce, some ketchup, little, kitchen condiments. Looks like some lighters and whatnot in there. So I'm sure there was some drug use going on down here. Hard drugs, not just weed smoking.
We had a hard time figuring out how they got so much stuff down in there, considering how hard it was. It's always harder to get it up the hill and get it out.
Listen, these guys that like to smoke crack for a living, they're in many ways are pretty resourceful and innovative with their solutions to logistical problems.
Guptill was one of these volunteers who says they found 8 caves in total, but it wasn't the group's first time down here.
And we really don't have a a known solution to deal with it.
In November 2022, CBS 13 took a tour of the cleared out caves, nowhere near as elaborate as they are now.
You can see the hooks on the wall where they had bottles and things like that hanging down.
Now, the bottles were probably kind of like an alert system. Somebody was coming in, maybe, I don't know. But here's my question. If they knew the caves existed back in 22, why didn't they do what they did in New York City with the tunnels? Remember, under the Shabbat Labatovich? I know I'll butcher that name, and I apologize. Shout out to the Jays. But they filled the tunnels with cement in New York City. So if they discovered these caves in 22, why didn't they fill the caves up with dirt, cement, or whatever they could? They just kind of let it rot.
Painted pictures and even a makeshift fireplace.
Hold on. Do I see Spanish language?
Makeshift fire.
Hold on. Let's go back a little bit. Te amo. Yeah. I'm seeing some Spanish language. Interesting. So you got some Mexicans down there, perhaps. Shout out to the Mexicans. Shout out to the Hispanics.
And even a makeshift fireplace. This was someone's home.
What do you think needs to be done to stop this from happening?
Well, I think we need more emphasis on the homeless. I mean, they're at the point where you can see, Tori, that they're desperate.
We asked Modesto police and the city what's being done to prevent people from coming back to Cave Camp. The response, they will continue to monitor the area and connect the homeless to services.
It was already been proven that people are willing to dig those things out, so I don't think filling them back in with any material would work.
The caves cleared for now, but the neighborhood near the river feeling no real sense of peace in this problem.
Yeah.
It's a hazard for not only the homeless who live in there, but the people who are walking up here.
Erosion, rising waters washing the belongings into the river, and contamination are all concerns. Rojas says that park rangers are planning on putting up cameras around this area and also signage, making it an official park. That way that they can have more.
So that's what's happening out there in California. I guess it's like near the Tuolumne, and I know I can't pronounce that, the Tuolumne River, Sacramento area, California. Yeah, so that's what's happening. I saw a fishing rod right there as well. So maybe I was a little bit rash by calling them crack smokers. Maybe they're not. Maybe they might, like I said, might be one guy down there that smokes a little bit here and there. But they had some cooking materials. They look like they fashioned beams in there. They look like they had it kind of set up the way they wanted. And the fishing rod to go to the river right there and fish for their food, perhaps. That could have been what was going on. Okay, then they bring the fish in there. Scale it, debone it, cook it up, put the hot sauce on it, eat right there. That was probably what was going on. But as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to these innovative homeless people. I mean, look, we're in America, but we're seeing more and more of this kind of stuff. People just kind of being resourceful, trying to figure out, okay, what's the best way for me to be able to navigate my situation? I don't have any money. I don't have anywhere to live. So then what do? Now, these could be U.S. citizens or maybe not. Just because things were in the Spanish language doesn't mean anything. They could be speaking Spanish and be here legally, or they could be straight up illegal aliens. And I think a lot of the illegal aliens, if that is going on, which it's happening all over the country, if you got illegal aliens, then you'll most certainly see more stuff like this. Not just homeless encampments, but innovative ways to kind of hide themselves and live off the land. People living in the woods, that's going on already. That's going on with American citizens. Many years ago, I was told that there were hundreds of kids living in the woods in one particular part of Virginia where I used to live. So these kind of things go on, and you're really not going to see it. You're more active and vocal crackheads. You're going to see them right in the center of downtown Los Angeles, no pants on, just doing whatever they want to do. But those who are homeless, going through a hard time, or just trying to stay low, who may not be drug users, you're not really going to see them at all. So that's why I said at the beginning, it could be a combination of both that were inhabiting those caves right along the river in California. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on the caves out there in California with the homeless living in there? Got a whole little establishment. They got beams. They got food. They got little furniture, all that stuff in there. How did they get the stuff down there? Like, was it a team effort? How many people do you think lived in that particular cave that they showed? I think they said there were like 8 of these kind of caves back in 22, and they were not as elaborate as they are right now. Whatever your thoughts are on this, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. This is going to happen a lot more as we see a big divide between the rich and the poor in this country. And also with the illegal alien problem, you're going to see a lot more of it when they just come across and they say, okay, we're going to live here. We don't have any money, any jobs. We're just going to live off the land. We're going to dig up this street. We're going to dig up the bank to the river, and we're going to do whatever we want to do. You're going to see a lot more of that as we get further into this time of just letting anybody come across the border that wants to come across the border. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.